Welcome to my channel. Today I'm taking you back to one of the most haunting true stories of obsession and survival, a case that gripped the nation in the 1980s. This is the story of Mary Stauffer, her young daughter Beth, and the terrifying summer they endured at the hands of a man whose dark obsession nearly destroyed them. Let me ask you this. What would you do if someone from your past, someone you barely remembered, turned out to be watching your every move for years? It was May 16, 1980. Mary Stauffer, a 36-year-old schoolteacher and devoted mother, had just finished a normal day in Roseville, Minnesota. That afternoon, she took her 8-year-old daughter, Beth, to the beauty salon. It was supposed to be a calm, mother-daughter outing, but as they walked back to their car, everything changed in an instant. A man forced them into their vehicle at gunpoint. That man was Ming Sen-Shiwei, a former student of Mary's from over a decade earlier. At the time, Mary had taught him algebra in high school, but to Ming, she had become much more than just a teacher. Over the years, his thoughts had spiraled into a twisted obsession. He believed he was meant to be with Mary. In his mind, they had a future together, despite the fact that she had long since moved on, built a life, married, had children. But to Ming, Mary was his, and he had planned every detail of her abduction. He drove them to his home in Roseville. There, he locked them inside a tiny, stuffy closet, a makeshift prison with no windows, no space to stretch, and no contact with the outside world. What Mary and Beth didn't know at the time was that they would be trapped there for 53 long, terrifying days. Ming wasn't just a kidnapper. He was a manipulator, a predator, and a predator with a camera. He documented much of the ordeal on film, including moments of psychological torment. He tied Mary up. He sexually assaulted her. He threatened Beth. And the entire time, he insisted that one day, Mary would fall in love with him. Imagine that. Being locked in a dark space with your child beside you, trying to shield her from unspeakable horrors, while a madman tells you that this is your new life, that he loves you, that he's been waiting years for this. And yet, Mary never gave up. She comforted her daughter. She stayed calm. And slowly, over the weeks, she began to plan their escape, not with violence, but with patience and subtle resistance. She studied his routines, noticed his weak points. She looked for moments when he let his guard down. Meanwhile, Ming continued to live his life. Incredibly, he even left the house at times, trusting the closet to hold his captives. But what he didn't know was that Mary was watching, waiting. Then one day, the opportunity came. While Ming was out, Mary managed to free herself from her restraints. She found a phone. Her fingers trembled as she dialed, and on the other end of the line, a police dispatcher heard her whispered plea for help. Within hours, the nightmare was over. Police stormed the home. They found Mary and Beth alive, frightened, weak, but safe. The closet, the camera, the restraints, all of it laid bare the full horror of what had happened behind those closed doors. Ming Sen-Shiwei was arrested. He was charged not only with kidnapping and rape, but also with the murder of a young boy named Jason Wilkman, an innocent child who had tragically stumbled upon the abduction scene. Ming had killed him to cover his tracks. In court, the evidence was overwhelming. Videos, confessions, diaries, it was all there. He showed no remorse. He truly believed that he and Mary were destined to be together. He was sentenced to life in prison. And Mary? She returned to her family. She began to heal. She later said that her faith had carried her through those darkest moments, and that what kept her alive was not just hope, but the unshakable love she had for her daughter. Years later, their story was turned into a film. Abducted, the Mary Stauffer story. But the real power of this story isn't in Hollywood's retelling. It's in the quiet strength of a woman who refused to break. It's in a mother's determination to protect her child. And it's in the reminder that sometimes, even in the darkest places, courage finds a way. Safety tips to protect yourself and your family. Even though Mary and Beth Stauffer survived their terrifying ordeal, their story reminds us of an important truth. Danger doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it's someone who's been silently watching, waiting. So, what can we learn? Here are some life-saving safety tips everyone should know. 1. Always stay alert to your surroundings. Whether you're leaving a store, walking to your car, or even just running errands, take a moment to really look around you. Is there someone lingering nearby? Someone following you from a distance? Trust your instincts if something feels wrong. 2. Never ignore repeated unwanted attention. If someone from your past tries to contact you repeatedly, especially after you've made it clear you're not interested, take it seriously. What may seem like harmless attention can sometimes escalate. Save records of messages or encounters, just in case you need to involve authorities later. 3. Use strategic parking habits. Whenever possible, park in well-lit, busy areas and avoid isolated spots, especially at night. Have your keys ready before you approach your car and glance inside the vehicle before entering. 4. Secure your home with simple upgrades. Install good locks, cameras, and alarms if possible. A strong, visible security system can be a major deterrent. Make it clear, your home is not an easy target. 5. Teach your children safety basics early. Children should know to scream, run, and resist if a stranger or even someone familiar tries to force them anywhere. A loud child draws attention, and attention can save lives. 6. Share your location when meeting strangers, and even acquaintances. If you're meeting someone you don't know well, whether for work, school, or personal reasons, let a trusted friend or family member know exactly where you're going, who you're meeting, and when you expect to return. Share your live location, if possible. 7. Have an emergency code word with family. Agree on a simple word or phrase that signals, "I'm in danger." If you manage to call or text and use it, your family will know to alert authorities immediately. 8. Trust your gut and act on it. If a situation or person makes you uneasy, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Leave. Call for help. Alert someone nearby. Your safety is more important than being polite. 9. Document any signs of stalking or harassment early. Take screenshots, save voicemails, record incidents in a notebook. These records can make all the difference if you ever need to get a restraining order or involve law enforcement. 10. Know how to use emergency services quickly. On most smartphones today, you can call emergency services by pressing the side button 5 times quickly. Learn your phone's emergency features. It could be the fastest way to get help when you can't dial normally. Mary Stauffer survived because she stayed calm, stayed alert, and seized the first chance to act. You don't have to live in fear, but a little preparation, a little awareness, and a strong belief in your right to be safe can protect you and the people you love. Stay safe out there. And remember, you're stronger and smarter than you think. If you found this story as chilling and powerful as I did, don't forget to subscribe. There are more stories like this coming soon. Stories of survival, strength, and the human will to endure.